Welcome guys, listen, we're back and today we're talking about consistency, habits. I talked about this point in a previous video. I think it was the last video actually. But anyways, I wanted to add some context, some points of action for you guys to actually go out there and perhaps even see this in your own life, the way we go about creating new habits, the way we go about eradicating bad habits, staying focused on our path and actually growing, okay? And I really want to make this video because I watched a video of a friend of mine called Darios, and I had also as well as watching his video, I had a call with a client of mine yesterday, okay? And we talked about, he asked me about why, you know, I built this consistency, how I was able to not get distracted, procrastinate and all that stuff, right? And first of all, I want to talk about Darios and what he said. So what I've done now is I have this video right here, which I'll show you, and I'll basically give my input on what he says, because this is exactly the point that I gave you in the previous video that I made on this, and I'm going to explain exactly why this works and why this is so accurate. So let's take a look.
So there's going to be no distractions, no holidays, no time off, no partying, no alcohol. I made a commitment to myself that I'm going to very much commitment, you know, rewording the things I'm saying already, but...
See how what he did that, right? He said try, right? Try to commit. Wrong, all right? And he did exactly the right thing, which is say it out loud, what you just said, and you take it back. You take it back, exactly what you do. This is perfect execution right here. When you say stuff like this out loud, that you're going to try to do this, try to do that, that's exactly what you get, right? But Darios did the right thing. He was like, no, I'm not going to try. I'm actually going to commit, right? And you say that out loud. It doesn't matter who's around you. It doesn't matter if it's your grandmother who's around you, your mom, anyone, whoever's around, right? You say it out loud. You have to say it out loud. If it's no one there, you say it in the mirror. You have to take back every single word that comes out of your mouth. It manifests something, okay? I don't want to get all Mr. Miyagi here, but this is how it works.
Commitment to myself to drink no alcohol in 2025. Now, many of my friends who are watching this thinking, well, you're not a big drinker anyway. No. But what I did do is I analysed a couple of times when I lost my routine, when I slipped off the rails a little bit, and they've all started with that one little drink at a party. And even though I don't drink a lot, those little drinks or those little nights out every now and then, they led to me losing my routine. And this year is all about maintaining that long-term routine.
Exactly, okay? What you just heard Darios say is exactly the point I was making in my previous video. Darios is a very smart guy, okay? Guys, go subscribe to his channel. I'll put the link down to his channel in the description. But he does all kinds of business. Great guy, phenomenal guy. Someone I consider a mentor of mine, you know, my older brother essentially. What he says there is exactly the point. So he looked at his life. He looked at exactly what's causing him to fall off the path, to not stay consistent with something. And he basically deduced that what the single action was, that wasn't that big even, was taking a drink. It was taking one drink. And it wasn't like, Darios not a big drinker, right? But he took one drink. And that had the effect on everything else. The gym, the business, every little thing, okay? Just by that one action. I'm talking about details here. We're not playing around anymore. We're done playing games, especially 2025. Listen to Darios. We're done playing games. And you have to be as detailed when it comes to this. Every little single thing that might affect the path you're on, you need to check that stuff. If you fail on it once, hey, check that. If you fail on it twice, fix it, okay? It's very simple. And we're seeing that right here, and it's great to see, you know? He's a dear friend of mine, so it's just amazing to see. Now, we're going to move on to what I've talked about previously, about what I'm talking to this client about yesterday, okay? Because he asked me a little bit about my routine and how I was able to do that stuff, and not procrastinating. And I made this point because this is really a point I learned by myself, essentially. So back in the military, right, I was doing 3 workouts a day, right? I was doing a morning session, I was doing a after work session, and then I was doing an evening session, which was usually some swimming or some jiu-jitsu, combat sports, right? And what I figured out was the one single thing that kept me from like completing that session with speed, right? Because you want to be effective in your day, right? So at the end of it, you have some time to, you know, do other stuff, right? So you can like switch off completely. That's much better than being like halfway on, halfway off, right? So in order for me to actually do that and switch off and get everything done in a, you know, good time, right? Also the jiu-jitsu, you know, there's a class, right? So you have to be on time. I figured out that the one single thing that made me procrastinate was sitting down. Sitting down. How detailed is that? So I only, in my room, right, I had one chair. One chair, I was always like, I was sitting from the computer, from my PC, right? And I had the chair, right? So what I did was I realized that every single time I did something, like procrastinate, maybe open my phone, maybe watch YouTube, whatever, was when I was sitting down. And so what I did was that after my second session, back when I came home, I would not sit down. I would go straight up to the kitchen, I would make my food, okay? And then instead of sitting down and eating that food, I would eat it standing. I would, my chair, I would move it over to the corner, turn it around so I couldn't face it, right? And then I would eat it standing. I would eat standing, right? Because I realized that if I sat down, I would get stuck in that chair. And that's how it is for many people. I'm not, special with that. And then I would make that commitment until the third session came along. And after the third session, if it was like, oh, I can't be bothered to go eat now because I had to eat after the third session too to, build the muscle, to, recover properly, right? Get some food in there, nutrition, right? Before bed. It was difficult to do that. No sitting. No sitting at all, okay? Chair is off limits. And then we did it again. We got the food done. And of course, like if you wanted to speed up eating again, we could even eat standing. But the realizing that sitting down was the one, key factor that made me procrastinate was huge. Huge, guys. And I'll tell you this, because I made this point to my client yesterday as well. Have you ever seen anyone doom scroll reels, for example? Because that's really a procrastinator for a lot of people. Standing up. Zero, okay? 0 people stand there and scroll while standing. When you're in your house and you're trying to get stuff done, when you procrastinate, when you're sitting down, when you're laying on the couch, okay, I'm not telling you to throw your couch off the balcony, but you know exactly where the point is, right? It's in sitting down. So if you have to make these rules for yourself. Do not sit down. And this is such a key point, okay? And I'm going to make this point again. But I've said this. You have to make it so simple for yourself to win. A lot of people out there, they're trying to make it fancy. They're trying to tell you to do UV light mask and stuff. Okay? All you have to do is put your chair in another room while you get stuff done. Because when you sit down, for example, stuff isn't getting done. It's very simple, and you can have these stand-up desks and all that stuff, whatever works for you. But the point is, you have to realize the one thing that makes you go off track. And we saw that here, what Darios was saying, right? It's exactly the same point. Details matters big time for this stuff. Whatever it is, it might be something completely different. But when you take a step back and you look at your life and look at what's slipping, what's your goal and where you want to go, right? There's always small factors that affect that. And it can be anything. It doesn't even have to be related to what you want to accomplish. That's what's so interesting about this. Like, it's not like me sitting down in the chair is ruining my gains in the gym. It's not that, right? But that chair that's preventing me from getting to the gym more effectively. You see what point I'm making? And it's just like that. It doesn't even have to be gym. Like the progress in the gym doesn't have to be like, oh, my workout routine is bad, or what I'm doing in the gym is bad. What's causing the workouts and my physique to be bad might stem from me, lacking in another area of life. You see how insane this is? Like every single thing we do, every single action it matters. So the first step to all this is realize the importance of every single action you take. But I just wanted to make that point to you. I don't want to drag this video on. I just wanted to clear up that once again. Dial in, guys. Dial in. Fix this stuff. You have all the opportunities in the world to go out there and actually become the person you want to be, especially this year, right? I'm not a big New Year's resolutionist, but I've given you the tools now. So go out there and implement this stuff in your life. It's so important. Details like this matter. And with that, I want to thank you guys for watching. Take care, and God bless. Boom!